We have officially seen the Northern Lights here in Alaska. Our names are Mike and Heather. We're traveling the US in our van Appa on a mission to visit all 50 states. Subscribe and join us as we try to figure out this whole van life thing. As always, thanks for watching. Good morning from Homer, Alaska. Yesterday we spent the day at Katmai National Park. We got there via seaplane and we saw the famous Brooks Falls and the bears that were fishing for salmon there. It was a bucket list item that Mike and I were very excited for, and I'm happy to report that it did not disappoint. The bears were absolutely amazing. The falls were absolutely amazing. The plane ride over was. It was truly an amazing experience. But today we are going to be exploring the Homer Spit. We stayed the night on the Homer Spit at the very tippity top of it at the campground, Homer Spit Campground. Mike chose to start his morning a little bit more adventurously than I did this morning. He actually went for a polar bear swim. So he got up bright and early to go jump in the Gulf of Alaska, a lot more braver than I was. So while I am in our nice toasty van, he is catching a warm shower and getting ready to start the day here in Homer. And while he's doing that, I'm gonna start on making us an early lunch.
These are good. Yeah, really good.
We are leaving our campground here at the tip of Homer Spit and are just driving a little bit towards the mainland to hit some of the boardwalks. Homer is known as the fishing capital of the world for halibut, so we've been seeing a lot of fishermen and fishing excursions go off into the water, but Homer Spit specifically has a couple different boardwalks with a lot of restaurants and shopping and really cool views of the ocean that surround it. So we're just gonna get out and enjoy some of the boardwalk. The plan was to do that last night, but after our big adventure with the bears, we kind of crashed a little bit early. So today we are exploring the Homer Spit.
First challenge is finding parking. So this is a very popular spot. It's just about 12:30 and all of the parking is completely full. So we're gonna see if we can find anything to go walk up and down a little bit, but this definitely seems to be a happening spot.
It's pretty crazy though, because this is technically off season. We're here in the first week of September and it's still packed, so I can only imagine how busy it actually gets during peak season.
So our first stop at just past 12 in the morning was...
Okay, the whole like it's 5 o'clock somewhere thing, it most definitely isn't here in Homer, but it's afternoon technically.
It's actually probably close to 5 back home in New York.
Yeah, so we'll count it, it's fine.
We stopped at the Salty Dog Saloon here in Homer on the Spit. We tried the famous duck fart shot.
I think we're gonna go for the duck fart. That's what we're told to come and get. Yes, please.
It's been around Alaska for a while. I guess some guy came up with it in some village somewhere on a cold night. But then it was made famous by The Deadliest Catch because they did an episode here.
Oh, okay.
So they were doing duck farts. So now everybody has to have one.
It's funny that it's G21.
Oh, it's good. The Baileys and like stuff makes it kind of like creamy and sweet. It's not bad. What did you just do? What is that?
Yeah, most of it.
You have to throw it back. It's a good thing we're not drinkers, because that was pretty bad.
It's strong.
So it was a mixture of a couple different types of alcohol that you shoot. I thought it was pretty good. Heather, she finished it. She did.
Yeah,
so that was good.
Count it.
But this is a popular dive bar in the area, kind of a fisherman's bar, and the drink was pretty good. For what it could be, it definitely wasn't bad.
They said that this is the second most famous dive bar in the world. The first one, because obviously we had to ask, is somewhere in Australia. So the entire place was covered in dollar bills from people from all over the world, so we obviously had to add ours as well from our hometown. Similar to the signpost forest on the Alaska Highway, now there's going to be a little part of us at the Salty Dog Saloon. Well, until they cash in all those bills, because I'm sure that's going to be a lot of money. I was starting to comment on how it was a little bit cold, but not cold anymore. Ready to go explore the boardwalk.
We're walking along the Homer Spit, which is amazing in and of itself. We're out into the Gulf of Alaska off of the mainland, and we're just surrounded by absolutely beautiful mountains on every side. It's really just no end of awe-inspiring views here in Alaska, and we are just so happy to be here. So we spent a little bit of time walking all the way up and down the boardwalk area of the Homer Spit, and once we left there, we made our way back into town to the Two Sisters Bakery.
Two Sisters Bakery was highly recommended on all of the Visit Homer forums, so we definitely had to stop by. I will say it has to be mighty popular because we're here an hour before closing, so they're open from 10 to 3. We're here just a little bit after 2, and everything was gone. There was slim pickings, so they had some cookies. They got a peanut butter cookie, which I love peanut butter cookies, so definitely be diving into this. And then a really pretty chocolate ganache mousse thing.
Mousse cup. I think it's whipped cream with chocolate ganache filled it in, and then a pretty, do you eat the flour?
They even put a pretty little flower on there. I dare you to eat the flower.
I was gonna say, I dare you to go in and ask if you can eat the flour.
You definitely have to eat it. You're taking the tiniest bite out of the flower. Does it taste like a flower?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a plant.
It tastes like chocolate soft serve ice cream, but almost more of like a pudding than it does the cold factor of it being an ice cream, but definitely good. Probably should have showed it before I took a bite out of it, but it's exactly how you want a cookie. It's crunchy on the outside and soft in the middle. It's got some sugar sprinkled on top, so definitely a sweet treat. We finished our sweet treat from Two Sisters. Hopefully it sucked up whatever left of the duck fart was in my stomach. Now we are headed to the last thing that we're really going to be doing in this Homer area, which is the Alaska Wildlife Refuge Center, which is conveniently located just around the corner from Two Sisters Bakery. It's a free research center that you can go in and explore. I believe that there's some exhibits, and you might even see some of the animals that they're there to help. So I'm very excited about this. Center was really cool. There's lots of really fun exhibits, and there's even some walking trails along the outside of the building. But now we are back in our van Appa, headed out of Homer and towards Cooper Landing, where we're going to be spending the night and going on a hike.
We continued up the Seward Highway and have made it into Cooper's Landing and our boondocking site for the evening. We are right along Upper Trail Lake, and we have an amazing spot with a beautiful view of the lake.
The best part is that this is a free boondocking site. We found it off iOverlander. Another good thing is that the weather cleared up. So we were going to do a hike this afternoon in Cooper's Landing, but we decided just to come to our boondocking site just in case the weather did take a turn for the worse. But it's beautiful out right now. Tomorrow it's supposed to be an even better day, so we're going to table the hike, enjoy our little camping area here, and set off on that hike tomorrow morning.
Fingers crossed. The forecast says that there should be a good chance to see the northern lights.
Yes.
So if the skies clear up, we're definitely going to make sure we have an alarm set for at least midnight, spend a couple hours checking out the skies. Hopefully we see the northern lights. That would be amazing. Tonight should be a good night for it in terms of their visibility, and I think this is going to just be a really good evening. And like Heather said, tomorrow we've got a nice hike planned to see some waterfalls.
Don't you worry, back tomorrow. Let's stay up until the morning light. Let the sun take care of your sorrow.
The story starts. I told the story.
And I promise things will be alright. We don't
4 volunteers. You.
Running for
It seemed like no one wanted to do it. Hey, Brian, it's Rudy.
morning from this beautiful lake in Alaska. Last night we did set our alarms and intervals to look outside to see if we could see the northern lights, but it was a bit too cloudy. But thankfully the forecast is supposed to be really good for the northern lights for the next couple of days, and the skies have cleared up, so hopefully tonight we're going to get another shot at it. But the plan here today is to first finish our cereal by this beautiful lake and then go on the Russian River Falls hike that's just down the road here in Cooper Landing.
Once we finish the hike, we're heading towards Seward, and we'll find a location around there this evening to view the lights. So a really exciting day, and I'm really hopeful that we can see the lights tonight because that would just be absolutely unbelievable.
Today looks like it's going to be a beautiful day, and the weather forecast says it's going to be a beautiful day, so we're going to get out there and enjoy it. We backtracked back to the Russian River Falls campground area, which is where the Russian River Falls trailhead starts. But unfortunately, we came to a road closure sign. So I looked it up online, and according to the internet, we are about 20 days too late or 8 months too early, depending on how you prefer to look at it, because they have closed the road due to construction. So you're not even allowed to walk past the barriers, so there's no foot traffic even allowed. So even if you were to park there and walk to the falls, you're not allowed to do that. So unfortunately, we are not going to be able to see the Russian River Falls here today, but it was supposed to be a leisurely 2-mile hike to witness the salmon run. It definitely sounds like a really cool hike, and it's advertised everywhere as a must-do in this Cooper Landing area, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that today, and it has been added to our bucket list for next time.
So we are probably going to find a spot to sort of take stock and reevaluate our plans for the day, because that was supposed to be the first half of the day.
The original plan was to leave Homer, like we did, and head towards Seward, and Cooper Landing is right in the middle of those two, so we figured it'd be a fun little stop to go on the hike on our way there. But I think this just means that we're going to have more time in Seward, which isn't a bad thing at all. But there is a little wildlife viewing area that we passed on the way up that I mentioned to Mike that I wanted to go to after the hike, so I think we're going to go there, look for some animals, and reevaluate what today's plans look like. So we have stopped at the wildlife viewing area along with several other RVs and other tourists, so I think we're in the right place for wildlife viewing. We did get to see some really pretty swans, definitely worth the stop, but I think we have come up with the game plan, which is we're just going to head to Seward, which is not a bad thing at all. It's definitely a place that we're very excited to go to, and there is a hike there that we were going to save for tomorrow, but we don't want to waste a beautiful day, so we're going to go do it today, and that is a hike to a glacier. So waterfalls, glaciers, you can't really go wrong with any hikes that you do here in Alaska, and I'm very excited for this upcoming one. So we are just above the town of Seward, headed towards the Exit Glacier, and there is a scenic overlook before you get to the trailhead where you can actually see the glacier. So we pulled into the scenic overlook parking lot, and in front of us is the glacier. The sign at the overlook parking lot said that as you make your way closer to the glacier, there's going to be timestamps of the year and how far out the glacier was at that point. So the glacier is retreating back and it is melting, so you can see markers all along the way and on this drive, as well as when you're on the hike, showing you the years of where it was at that point in time, which is kind of crazy to think about, that at one time this entire valley would have been a glacier.
So we are coming into the Kenai Fjords National Park, and just ahead of us is the Exit Glacier, which you can't miss. This is the only glacier that's accessible by road here in Alaska.
Now that we have made it past the national park sign, we are already starting to see the signposts showing the years of it melting. So those are back in the 1800s, so just 200 years ago, the glacier went all the way out here. So it's going to be very interesting as we walk closer and closer to the glacier to start seeing some of the years that we were actually alive for and how much it's retreated since then. This is the most popular glacier that people visit in all of Alaska, and I can definitely see that. We're here in the off season and this is the most people that we've seen in our entire trip. The parking lot was packed, and I think we are very fortunate to be here kind of in that shoulder season. We're hitting it perfectly because I can't imagine this being packed, just like I couldn't imagine Homer being packed. This is definitely popular, but it's popular for a reason.
We have started on the trail. We're doing the Glacier Overlook Trail, which I think takes us right up to the ice. So that should be pretty cool. So far it's a paved path, and I think the worst it gets is some exposed bedrock from the glacial moraine movement. So it should be a pretty easy path. We're geared up with bear spray just in case because we're in the Alaskan wilderness. But all in all, I'm super excited. I think we're gonna get some amazing views.
We have left the paved trail and have gone to the Glacier Overlook Trail, and now it's a bit more rocky, but they still have the sign showing how far the glacier has moved since the year. So right now we are standing where the glacier would have been in 1961.
Even though we've left the paved portion and are now on the unpaved section of the trail heading to the Glacier Overlook, it's still really nice. The National Park Service has done an excellent job of maintaining it and have kind of a gravel layer down that also could just be the moraine from the glacier, that gravel deposit. But either way, it's a nice trail to walk. We're getting definite fall vibes through here. The temperature, the smells, everything is just amazing, and fall is our favorite season, so this is definitely a hike for us.
There are a bunch of different hikes that you can do in this area here, some even up to 8 miles long, but there's two kind of main basic ones. The first one is the paved one that takes you all the way to a viewing platform down at the bottom, and then there's this one that's labeled as moderate because there is some stairs and a little bit of scrambling, if you can call it that. I don't know why we chose to do the hard one first, but yeah, we're getting some pretty cool views. So this trail lets us get close to the ice of the glacier. To actually go on the glacier, you have to hire a professional who knows what they're doing in order to carefully walk across it. So we're going as close as we can be to this one, and then we'll go back down to the more paved one, which is the Overlook Trail. But now we've reached an interesting section of the trail where we got rope to direct us. So straight ahead, you can see where we're headed. That's the Exit Glacier.
This isn't the closest we're ever going to get to a glacier. We're actually doing a few glacier walks while we're here, but this is the closest we've ever been to this point, so this is really exciting to see.
We made it to the viewpoint that is as close as you can get walking on these trails here, and now we are working our way back down to look at the paved trail overlook.
So this should take us back towards the parking lot, and on the way we should be able to stop off at another overlook to see the Exit Glacier.
So this is the view that you get from the paved path. You can still see the Exit Glacier, the glacier runoff, and the beautiful mountains off in the distance.
We are exiting the Kenai Fjords National Park and the Exit Glacier we're leaving behind as we make our way into the town of Seward.
It should be a quick 15-minute drive to get over towards Seward. Seward is known as the gateway to the Kenai Fjords, and we're hopefully, fingers crossed, going to be able to book a little half-day cruise here to get a little bit more in-depth look from the water once we do get to Seward. Mike's goal is to see orcas on this trip, and we asked the park ranger when we were there if they were still in the area, and he said yes.
So there may be some gray whales still in the area.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Porpoises and orcas.
Until then, we're heading towards Seward, which is a very popular cruise destination. So I'm very curious to see what like a little cruise town in Alaska looks like.
Maybe there'll be cruise ships in the harbor too.
That'd be pretty cool to see those. We did a quick drive through Seward just to go in and check it out. It looks absolutely beautiful, especially up by the waterfront. There's lots of camping areas down there, which we may do tomorrow, but we wanted to kind of be a little bit outside of Seward just to give us a better shot at trying to see the northern lights tonight. We have no idea if this will even be possible because we've never seen the northern lights before, but according to the index, there's supposed to be a 6 tonight.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, and the person at the visitor center when we first entered Alaska in Tok, Alaska said anything above a 6, make sure you're out there looking for those northern lights and make sure that you're in as dark of a place as possible. So we're at one of the scenic pull-offs on the way to Seward. So we left Seward and we're about, what, 10 minutes outside of it now?
Yeah, 12, 15 maybe.
Yeah, not very far, at one of the many scenic overlooks along this highway because there is a straight shot north. So if there is a possibility of seeing northern lights, hopefully we're giving ourselves the best chance possible because it's not surrounded by mountains or cloudy like it is closer to the coast. So I think we're gonna kind of camp out here, maybe make ourselves some dinner because we're hungry after our hike now, and yeah, just hang out and cross our fingers that we'll see the northern lights tonight. On the menu tonight is going to be some leftover gnocchi from the other day, so some pasta, and Mike wants hot dogs, so weird combination, but this is what we have in our fridge.
Leftover ketchup packets from one of our Burger King stops that work really well for hot dogs when we have not been able to find a ketchup in a size that we've liked.
For whatever reason, everywhere in Canada has giant ketchup bottles, no like tiny ones.
And we haven't really looked in Alaska.
So it is officially nighttime, which means that the hunt for the northern lights is on. So we are going to be checking periodically for the next 5 hours.
10 and 2 a.m. Is a good spot, but the clouds have cleared in the area that we're hoping to see them in. So we're going to try and make sure we're able to look north. We're in a spot that's in a valley between mountains, view over the tree line. So we think we're in a pretty good spot to see them if they appear, which fingers crossed they do.
Yes. So we have set our alarm just in case we do happen to fall asleep, but I don't think we are going to because we're very excited. So hopefully we see some northern lights, but if not, guess we're pulling our first all-nighter since college. We repositioned our van to be able to have the doors open towards the north, so I think we're just gonna sit with them open for a while and see what we can see. So it's been about, how many hours? 3?
So from 10 to now we've been watching.
Yeah, I've been out for a couple hours. Haven't seen anything yet, but hopefully. Still got a lot of night left.
So last night was absolutely amazing. It was definitely something that I'll remember forever. We stayed up until about 3:30 watching the northern lights, and although they didn't flash that green in the sky that we could see with our eyes, you could absolutely see the bands as they made their way across the sky, and then on the camera they showed up that super vibrant green that you always see in pictures. So it was absolutely amazing. It ended up being a clear night, and we were actually pretty far south in Alaska to see them, so this was great. There was a bunch of other people, and they were commenting on how amazing the lights were and that they almost never see them as well as they did last night. So just so happy, and that's something that we both had on our bucket list to do here in Alaska, and to check that off is just so incredible.
When you took pictures of it or took video of it with the right aperture and all of that stuff, which I don't know if we really did because we don't really know how to take low light pictures, which we probably should have figured out beforehand, but our pictures still came out good. So for people who actually knew what they're doing, I'm sure their pictures were absolutely incredible. But yes, we have officially seen the northern lights here in Alaska, and I'm so excited because we're actually going to be spending some time in Fairbanks a little bit later here in September, which will give us an opportunity to possibly even see more of them and more vibrant to the naked eye. But now we have another bucket list item that we are doing today.
So we have come back into the town of Seward, and we're at the Kenai Fjords Tours parking lot because we're going to take a expedition out into the fjords. So we started to explore Kenai Fjords National Park yesterday with the Exit Glacier. Today we're jumping on a boat, going through Resurrection Bay and into the park to see some glaciers out on the water. Hopefully we'll see some orcas, but it's going to be absolutely amazing. this Alaska trip has been so much more than I ever thought it would be, and it's just so amazing that we get to do all of this.
But we're running a little late because we were tired this morning and definitely hit the snooze button, so we gotta go. We hope you'll join us in the next one. Bye, everyone.
I'm living my